an amazing time for young people because there's so much uncertainty. And uncertainty, that causes us to live in fear because we can't predict. And when you can't predict an outcome, you're in the unknown. And that means you can't rely on anybody. You got to rely on yourself. And so the student loans, buying a home, which has become almost impossible for young people, finding and scoring the right job and working for a company that's thriving or growing. You don't see a lot of that. So what do you have left to invest in? And that's yourself. And investing in yourself then is being an expert at whatever you do and making time to make different choices than what everybody else makes. And you got to start choosing yourself on a regular basis. And yes, it's natural and it's normal. And there's a lot of agreement to say you're going to live in your parents' basement. You're probably not going to get a job. You're probably going to drink a lot with your friends. You're probably going to experiment with drugs. You're probably going to get involved in technology and get lost in that social world. And it'll distract you from ever doing what your heart tells you that you want to do. That's natural. That's normal. You'll never pay your student loans back. You know that conversation. And more so in history now than ever in my years I've been on this planet have I ever seen the world in the state that it's in. But we're not looking for normal. We're not looking for natural. We're looking for supernatural. And the person who invests in themselves that says, I'm going to take a risk on me and I'm going to take this student loan out and I'm going to make a commitment to myself that I'm going to pay it off in a year. I have no idea how I'm going to do that, but all I know is I'm going to arrive at that outcome, and I'm going to change along the way to arrive there. That is my statement. And I promise you, you make that statement and you come out of your resting state, you'll make better choices in your life because you'll keep your word to yourself. You have to now because you're all in. You pushed all the chips in. Now, nobody is going to choose you. Nobody is going to choose you. You're going to choose yourself. And if you get a wild idea and you see what it is in your life that you want to become, then if you want that more than anything else and you're passionate about it and it gets you up in the morning, you'll arrive there. But just remember, you're going to have to change a lot to get there. And that's what school and learning is about. You should be uncomfortable in school because you're weighing what you know against what you don't know. And arriving at that future, man, every single day means if you go all in, then you'll make the right choices for yourself on a regular basis because nobody else is going to do that for you when you see that future and no one else can see it. I've done it enough times in my life where people look at me like I'm crazy, and to them, I am because I'm unpredictable. And yet, you choose yourself every day, you get good at it. And you got to change the way you think, you got to change your beliefs. You got to change how you act. You can't make the same choices if you're going to arrive at that future. And you're going to be uncomfortable. So you got to decide, am I going to just choose myself and still be cool and still be fun, but I'm going to have time for me and take time away from my friends to invest in myself? I got to feel the emotions of my future. That's going to be the serum. That's going to be the energy. That's going to be the fuel that's going to get me there. I can believe in that future when I feel it. So nobody's going to do that for you. That when you feel the feelings of your future, I swear to you, you'll no longer be in lack or separation. Because you're only in lack and separation when you feel some familiar emotion and you're wondering why it hasn't happened. If you're feeling the feeling of it, it means that it feels like your body's believing it's already happened and you'll never look for it. Stay in that feeling and you'll behave differently. Stay in that feeling and you'll make different choices. Stay in that feeling and you'll have different experiences. Stay in that feeling and you'll think differently than everybody else. Yeah, and will there be rough moments and will you make mistakes? Absolutely. But then you got to make a choice. Do I still believe in it or not? And so then it's natural and normal to have the agreement in social consciousness that you're never going to pay your loans back, you're never going to get a job. Yeah, that's natural and normal, but we're looking for something else. Now, to commit and have that intention, I was crazy crazy as a kid. I was telling somebody the other day maybe it was you, I had 33 things that I read 3 times a day. 3 times. I did it every single day. These 33 things were things of my future that I wanted. And I would cross them off. My friends would laugh at me. I'd read them in the backseat of the car out loud. I didn't care. That was where I wanted my mind. I had no idea how my subconscious mind was going to get me there. That was just me. And as I crossed them off my list, I started believing more that I was the creator of my life. And then unknown and unusual opportunities started to show up to cause me to believe that this is actually working. How long did it take? I don't care. All I know is that I paid all my loans back in a very short amount of time because that's what I wanted to do. I had no idea how it was going to happen, but the doors opened as a result of it. I like that. Caused me to want to do more of that. And so you got to change to arrive at that outcome. And I'm certain the world would give people a lot of agreement to stay in limitation. And yet the cream always rises to the top when you choose yourself. Always when you take the high road, when you believe and you never stop, and you keep one foot in that magical world and one foot in your real world, and you navigate between the two, you arrive at a whole different place. Just that there's not a lot of agreement in the world for young people to believe in themselves and to believe in a new world. There's an advantage to being young. You have more plasticity, less rigid, hardwired connections, nerve cells that fire together, wire together. You keep doing the same things over and over again, they become more automatic, more habituated, more easy. You keep thinking the same thought over and over again, it becomes a belief. That's just a belief, is what you keep thinking over and over again until you hardwire it, and it's subconscious. So then, how do you feel on a regular basis? Are you fatigued? Are you resigned? Are you hopeless? Are you powerless? I mean, you got to look at that. You got to look at that, and if that motion that's tied to that thought is the body conditioned into the past, you just less baggage, a little more freedom, a little bit more plasticity, a little bit more loosening of the connections. You're not finite in your identity, and the frontal lobe doesn't finish developing until you're 25 years old. And I used to tell my kids all the time, one of them's still in his 20s. You got to learn as much as you can in your 20s. Never stop learning in your 20s. Learn and experience as much as you can, Get it all in there. Learn it, not just to learn the content, but to learn a way of thinking. To learn a sequential way of processing information. Learn as much as you can in your 20s. Make as much synaptic connections as you possibly can. Challenge yourself to remember it. Store it in there. And now you are equipped. You're giving your brain the equipment, the raw materials for you to dream in ways that you could never dream if you didn't know it. And that's a greater level of consciousness. So, not hardwired to be a certain way for the rest of your lives. And in your 20s, my goodness, what a great opportunity to learn really good habits. What a great opportunity for you to believe in things that other people don't believe in. That's why I love our youth community. I want you here because I want you growing up in a community where people stand on the stage and heal themselves from all kinds of health conditions. I want that to be normal to you. I want you to be in that level of consciousness, and consciousness is awareness. And awareness is paying attention, and paying attention is noticing. And when you see someone stand on the stage that healed themselves, you'll start to think that that's normal, and that will be your belief. To be able to demonstrate that in your life, that gives people permission on some really intimate level to do the same. So in your 20s, get it wired in there, experience as much as you can, start walking as the mystic, start walking as abundance, start walking as success. Rehearse how you're going to be in your life on a regular basis. Step into that. My life changed in really profound ways because I wasn't making the common choices, I think, that a lot of people were making at that time. So in my 20s, I think I developed a lot of really good habits because I was really curious if it was the truth more than anything else.